Any other questions? Okay, yes, sir.
One minor one. Is it wrong for...
Absolutely, dead wrong.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
If a Jewish person believes in the Messiah, Jesus, is it wrong to wear the strings and the kippah and all those Jewish traditions?
Okay.
Does
Right.
that
So
qualify?
let's say there's a Jew who believes in Jesus and he wears tzitzit, the fringes, and he wears a kippah. If he was doing it in a deceptive way, if he was doing it to try to show that he was Orthodox and he wasn't, I think that's superficial and misleading. If in a religious service, a gathering, there were outward things to say, hey, listen, we are Jews. We don't have a cross up here for a reason. You misunderstand a lot of things that we believe, and we want to show that we're Jews, and that's the sincere reason for doing it. Obviously, that's between them and God. If someone in their own heart feels, I want to more readily identify with my people, and therefore does it, again, that's between them and God. Certainly, unless you have a very narrow reading of 1 Corinthians 11, there's nothing that would prohibit that. Here's the issue I would have with it, though, personally. So no one's giving account to me. People do this between them and God. I feel it's somewhat misleading because the kippah is absolutely not part of Scripture. It's not even mandated in Talmud. It's a later tradition, okay? And it's specifically saying I am a traditional Jew, or I am a non-Jesus believing Jew, and where there's an identification. Even the tzitzit, originally the fringes that were to be worn were just part of the garment. The outfit in the ancient world there of royalty would be this fringed garment, and there was a fork that was worn there. And it had a color tchelet, which is royal blue or purple. According to traditional rabbis, the snail from which that expensive dye comes is no longer found, and therefore you don't have that blue-purple, you just have white. So to wear white fringes in this particular way is saying I'm following the rabbinic interpretation, and to me we're not following the rabbinic interpretation. If we were, we wouldn't be believing in Jesus. So it's obviously between the individual and God. But that to me is very different than a Jew who believes in Jesus saying, I'm celebrating, I'm honoring God on Shabbat, and that's Sabbath. Wonderful. I mean, you've got scriptural merit for doing that. I'm celebrating the feasts. I may not do it in the traditional way, but absolutely, that's our Bible, that's our history, that's our tradition. But to take on specific rabbinic traditions that are not part of the Bible, or specific rabbinic interpretations that set apart rabbinic Judaism, to me that's a confusion. And if someone was asking me, aside from telling them to work it out between them and God, if they wanted my opinion, I would discourage them from doing it. And I feel it opens us up unnecessarily to the charge of being deceitful, just personally. Any other? And by the way, it didn't apply to anybody in here that I saw, but if it did and I offended you, I apologize, but think of what I had to say, okay? I may have offended you because I was right. So I said possibility. Just because someone's offended doesn't mean that they're right. I've been offended and I've been wrong at times. Anybody else? I really appreciate your interest and stick-to-itiveness. But we'll just give you one more opportunity. If you have any other questions.
If I may.
All right. Well, maybe we'll make this the last one, and no one else comes up. And then I want to take maybe 2 minutes just with a couple of closing comments for you. And then I'll hang out for a bit, even though I'm still on East Coast time. Yes?